Good morning. As you can see, it's about 8:45 in the morning, and I'm sitting in my own garden here in the beautiful United Kingdom. I made my way from South Africa about 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and I'm happy to be back. I'm really happy to be back. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna. I want you to grab a seat. I want you to, you know, this channel is about. Well, not. It's not a specific subject. It's life, you know. It's something I feel like I needed this, and that's why I want to create this for you. If you have questions, I want you to put them down so we can talk about it. I will basically respond to the comments and make videos on those comments. But today, I've decided I'm gonna do a little chat. So pull up a chair. It's for the men mostly. Unfortunately, I just don't know. I don't even know how my own wife's mind works, you know. So for me, I'm just gonna chat. We're gonna chat a little bit amongst us, all the boys. So pull up a chair. It's just us, and we're just gonna have a little discussion about life. Now, I moved here, and not the temperature. That's not something that really gets to me, but the change itself. There's a lot that has changed in the last 6 months. I went from being in South Africa, in a place that I know, in a place that I've been living my entire life. Basically, met my wife there, had friends there, beaches, learned to surf, played my first movie, started acting, obviously modeled for 10 years in Cape Town, or at least that's where my mother agency was. And you know, things, it's quite a solid foundation for me. You know, it's normal. So changing from that, coming here, you think you're this macho man, right? Like we think as men, we think like, okay, it's easy stuff, and it is. You know, it's not like it's the end of the world, but it's, you know, it's you don't want to give in to your pride in a sense. You're like, you don't want, when things are hard, you don't want to be the guy that's like, oh no, I can't handle this. You know, I don't know how I'm going to get money to pay for the rent. I don't know how my cats are going to survive in the cold. How are they going to fly here? Am I going to be able to afford the plane tickets? Will I be able to work on this side? You know, will I be able to make friends? Am I going to lose all the weight because they don't have biltong in this country? Which is like a crazy amount of protein and fat in one product. Anyway, there's all these stresses, right? You start doubting yourself as a man. So what do we do as men? We just keep it in, right? Someone asks you, hey, how you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm great. I love it here. I love it. That's what we do, you know. And I feel a sense of almost like that's something we must do, because if you show a sign of weakness in an opponent, you know, when you're facing an opponent, it's they're gonna zone in on that injury or that weakness. They're gonna make their main concern is to, you know, dwell on that and make you break you basically, right? I'm not saying you have a lot of enemies. I'm just saying that as men, I think we have a tendency to not show our vulnerability. Now, I'm not going to be the guy that stands here and says, okay, dude, you need to cry, show your vulnerability, just don't be afraid, just be yourself. If you want to cry, cry. So what I'm saying, I cry a lot, but I do it in private because it's no one else's business. I still feel like we need to bring back, or we should just be, the men that we were born to be, the men that I believe we can be, and the man that I believe we were created to be, the strong one, physically, mentally, the anchor, you know. So regardless of how difficult things are, if you really look back in your life, right? We're just chatting here, right? Let me know in the comments below something, how you have had a big struggle. Someone maybe, you know, died. Someone you lost a job. Maybe you're still at this moment financially broke and you don't know what to do, right? How many times have you actually survived that? How many times have you just said, well, there's nothing else I can do? There's two options, really. Either I commit suicide, which I'm not going to do because that's just cowardly. I'm just not going to go that route. So the other one is to just move forward. And how many times when we just move forward, we actually make it happen? You know, I don't know how. I honestly cannot tell you how it works. Life works in a strange way, but we make it happen. We get shit done. Things get done with these hands and a brain and feet. You know, we walk towards a place that we need to get something in order to build something here, in order to make money here, in order to pay that there. It just happens because we don't sit still. And I found that in those difficult times, I mean, you can relate, right? In the difficult times, that's kind of where we our most manly, masculine attributes come out, which is cool. You know, when you're comfortable, when you have a nice house. We just bought a TV yesterday, so I was setting up the TV and kind of felt like proud of just doing the own little thing. It says professionals needed to put this TV bracket up and stuff. And I'm not a professional, but I did it and standing, so I feel good, I feel like a man. But the point is, when you're comfortable and it's nice and warm and you've got money in the bank and you've got nice food and it's just beautiful, then it's easy to lose that and just to fall into a not saying not a masculine, but you're comfortable. You don't work as hard. You don't think about things. How could I say it? As a king, right? From what I know about kings in the Bible, and as well as movies and things like that, and what people say, the king, no, he's the most comfortable, right? He's the most comfortable being in the, what do you call it? Congregation. No, he's just number one. He's the king. Yet, I bet you he wakes up every morning and he thinks, how can I make my people, peasants, the staff, whoever is, clearly he's the king, so everyone below him, how can he make their lives easier? How can I make their life easy so they don't rebel against me and kill me? So he's constantly stressing, constantly thinking about that. And he's supposed to be the most comfortable. He should be just sitting there having grapes and having those fans on him and just, those whatever they call. But he's not, he's taking it in. He's doing the work. And I think that's something we can strive for. Even if it's comfortable, even if, it's like the lion is so big and powerful, but if he just sits there, he's gonna die. He has to go out and do the gruesome hunting and the gathering and the clawing and it needs to be, it's brutal out there. Blood spill. I'm not saying you should murder anyone, but there's stuff happening there. So you have to go out and fight for yourself, for your family, and just for survival. We're only here for a very short time, so I think that's pretty much what we need to do. Now, I think we should all come together because I feel like relationships are very important. So I'll start making more of these videos, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of life. We'll never really know the true meaning, the true purpose. But I think once we as men can come together and we can, put it black on white in a sense and be like, listen guys, this is what we need to do. I don't care what the world says and what the rules are and the governments and bullshit like that. This is what we need to do as men, and we should just do it. We should just put our heads together and do it. I mean, if stuff can go viral, why not this? Why not something important? I feel like we as men, and I'm talking to you, maybe you're watching this and you're a bit down, but we as men, we are needed in this world. Even though you don't think so. I sometimes think no one needs us. Women have everything they want. They have jobs, they've got money, they can be independent, they're beautiful, they can get any guy they want because it's just easier for a woman. we have to struggle. If we try anything, it's rape. You know, it's so hard for a man, yet we are still here. And I just feel like there are more things that people actually neglect. I'm here saying to you, brother, I want you to stay here. I want us to uh, to prove to the world that we belong, and that there's a purpose for every single being, female or male, but especially for man. Because if you are thinking about these things, if it crossed your mind once, then you're in the right place. Then there's hope, because anything can happen. I'm a firm believer, if you put your mind to something and it's a positive change for society, for the world, then it'll happen. Anyway, we'll have a little chat about it in the next video. Thank you so much for joining. Of course, if you want to have these little discussions, just subscribe and we'll chat more. But I need this in the comments. I need you guys to comment and have a little discussion. And hopefully I'll have later on more people, and hopefully a group of men just talking about life. All right. Have a good day. Cheers.